Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse 7 Soldiers of Victory Frankenstein. This guy is part of the newest wave of mega figures from McFarlane, both Frankenstein and Mongol. I ordered my figures from the McFarlane toy store, took advantage of the bundle discount and the 10% off coupon code. It brought them just under retail after shipping and taxes. So let's check out the packaging. As you can see, age 12 plus, DC Multiverse Frankenstein. Here he is in the package. He has a large sword, a collector's card, and a display stand. One side says Frankenstein, 7 Soldiers of Victory. Other side says Frankenstein. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case it helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Frankenstein posed up from the comics. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And like I said, I did get the bundle from the McFarlane toy store, including both Mongol and Frankenstein. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand and a collector's card. He also has a very large sword. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Frankenstein. He's a member of the DC universe, typically portrayed as a hero. His story is more or less that he's Frankenstein's monster, created by Dr. Frankenstein. Many years later, he's still alive, and he fights the forces of evil as an agent of SHADE, the Superhuman Advanced Defense Executive. He's pretty much a large, monstrous figure. I know he made some appearances in death metal, but he's been around for a while before that. So let's take a look at him. Starting with his head here, you can see he's got the stitching around his scalp where his brain was put in. Kind of shitty haircut there. Face looks pretty good. Monstrous, sunken in eyes. Frowny face. Some bolts on his head. Signature Frankenstein look. Stitching on his arms. He is put together from a bunch of different people. He's got this jacket. Can't really pull it much further back. It's permanently attached. You can kind of see there. He's got this red outfit, I don't know, yellow buckles or whatever those things are. He does have a bicep cut, single jointed elbows, more stitching, black gloves. Looks like he's got blue jeans, double jointed knees, large boots. His feet are giant. Definitely gives me a Frankenstein vibe. Large sort of trench coat type thing here. Sleeveless, cool looking figure. McFarlane excels at large monstrous figures, exactly like Frankenstein. I've seen people asking for this guy since the line started about 3 years ago. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt, you can't deny, he looks like Frankenstein. Everything except for his red and yellow shirt. Now let's look at his accessories. And let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand. Black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. It's very thin. Very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Frankenstein from the comics. Looks like the outfit's very similar to the figure. Frankenstein from 7 Soldiers of Victory. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now let's check out a sword. This thing is giant, but it's for a pretty big guy. Handle here, nice sculpt and detail. It's gold, and the blade goes on for a while. Mine's a little bit warped from the package, but it's not too bad. Here's Frankenstein holding the sword. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. And this guy is a big boy. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 9.75 inches tall, which can translate to just under 25 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far, down about that far. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He doesn't have that signature McFarlane butterfly joint. Usually covers up that gap. When his arm's down, you're not going to notice that big gap. Bicep cut below that. That's something Mongol didn't have. Single jointed elbow. Goes in good 90 degrees with rotation. His wrist can rotate. And it's going to be hinged as well. His torso seems to be one solid piece. He's got a ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, completely does splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type idea. Rotation is non-existent. Legs go forward. About that much, not too impressive there. Back, about that far. Double jointed knees. They go back about that much. And his ankle here, forward and back. Rotation, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's Frankenstein, walking around like a zombie in a castle-type setting. And here he is, holding his sword in the same setting. Here's Frankenstein, exploring the lab where he was created, where he was born. He has vague memories of this place. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other Frankenstein figures. Here he is, next to a NECA Universal Monsters, Boris Karloff Frankenstein. This guy's also 7-inch scale, but considerably smaller than this McFarlane Frankenstein, although bigger than an average McFarlane Multiverse figure. And here he is, next to NECA's black and white version of Frankenstein. I personally prefer the color version, but I understand a lot of people are going to prefer the original black and white version of Frankenstein from the original film. I'm still looking for the glow-in-the-dark version. Around here, Wolfman and the Mummy glow-in-the-dark head, but Frankenstein is nowhere to be seen. And of course, all three of the Frankenstein figures that I have. Here's Frankenstein in front of a couple Mezco 112 Collective Frankenstein doorways. I got these things because they look like castle doorways. Nice diorama piece. I always had these in my Racial Ghoul base. Now let's check him out, next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is next to Mongol, the most recent wave of McFarlane Megafigures. Here's Frankenstein, next to Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla Grodd is the most recent Megafigure. He's from the third wave of Page Punchers. Then, with the two most recent Megafigures in the regular line, Bane and Necron, and with the Megafigures from the Black Adam movie, Atom Smasher and Sabak. Before that, they gave us Man-Bat and Killer Croc. Another couple monstrous figures that look great with Frankenstein. Right up McFarlane's alley. And before that, they gave us Titan Joker and Clayface. Titan Joker is the largest and tallest McFarlane DC Multiverse figure yet. Here's Frankenstein, next to all three variations of the Swamp Thing Megafigure. And here, next to the Megafigure version of King Shark, this is a gold label Walmart exclusive. This guy has a plaid shorts and bloody mouth. King Shark was originally a collector Build-A-Figure. And then, here's Frankenstein, next to McFarlane's first Megafigures, Steppenwolf and Darkseid from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Here's the entire collection of McFarlane DC Megafigures. And honestly, I'm not sure what's next. Here's Frankenstein, next to a bunch of different McFarlane DC Multiverse collected Build-A-Figures. They come in a bunch of different various shapes and sizes. You can see Atrocitus on the far right, pretty similar height to Frankenstein. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin. Then, with the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. Here's Frankenstein, next to the most recent wave of McFarlane gaming figures. We've got the Arkham City Sick Joker and the Arkham Knight Scarecrow and Red Hood. And here he is, next to the McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 DC offerings, the Batman Who Laughs, and the Joker. Then, with the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Hush Superman and Rebirth Kid Flash. And now, next to the third wave of Page Punchers, this was a Flash-themed wave. Flash, Atom, Gorilla Grodd, Heatwave, and Captain Cold. Here's Frankenstein, next to the second wave of Page Punchers. This is based off Injustice 2, Batman and Green Arrow. And here he is, next to the first wave of Page Punchers. This is a Black Adam-themed wave. We've got Batman, Superman, Constantine, and Black Adam. Then, next to most recent, Collective Build-A-Figure wave. This is a Speed Metal wave. Collective Build The Darkest Knight. And now, with the Arkham City wave, Collective Build Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy has a lot of similarities to Frankenstein. They're both a corpse that's stitched back together. Zombie-type creatures. Here's Frankenstein, next to some recent Target-exclusive gold label figures. We've got Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern from Changing the Guard, Defiance Deathstroke, Black Adam movie, Black Adam with Throne, and the Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman variant. And here he is, next to a couple of other recently released gold label Target exclusive figures, Ocean Master, and the 30th anniversary Batman from Batman the Animated Series. Then, with some recently released gold label Walmart exclusive figures, Speed Metal Dark Flash, Rebirth Shazam, Azrael Batman Armor, and Parallax Hal Jordan. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. Even though this guy is almost 10 inches tall, he's still in the 7-inch scale of action figures. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing next to some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, Frankenstein's a pretty cool figure. He looks good, and he's a lot of fun. He looks like Frankenstein from the horror films, except for his bright red and yellow shirt. Beyond that, sculpt and paint job are excellent, no issues there. His articulation, it's good, a little bit less than a regular McFarlane DC Multiverse figure, but considerably more than Mongol. His accessories, the sword's pretty nice, although he should have some sort of giant gun to accommodate the figure. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. I'm enjoying him, and I don't really know much about the character Frankenstein. Yeah, I've seen him here or there in the comics, and this is coming from a guy that has almost 20,000 different DC comics. So if that gives you an idea of how obscure he is. Of course, my collection is predominantly Batman related. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.